Selling your home in South Florida sounds simple. List it, accept an offer, close. But the biggest regrets that I hear from sellers come down to one thing. They agreed to something that they shouldn't have. One small yes can cost you tens of thousands of dollars or blow up your closing entirely. I'm Joel Poulin, your Florida real estate broker in Palm Beach County. I've watched smart, sophisticated homeowners agree to things that they should have walked away from because in the moment it felt reasonable. Today, I'm going to walk you through 15 things that you should never agree to when selling your home. These are real scenarios that I've seen play out, and knowing how to handle them separates a smooth sale from an absolute disaster. Pay attention to number 11 because this is the mistake that kills more deals than any other, and most sellers never even see it coming. All right, let's get into it. Number 1, never reveal your motivation, timeline, or next move to anyone on the buyer side. Florida law actually protects you here. Your own agent can't disclose why you're selling, your bottom line price, or what your motivation is. That's confidential. But sellers tank their own negotiations all the time by leaking it themselves. You bump into the buyer's agent at the property. You mention that you've closed on a new house already, or you tell them that your move-in date is locked in. Or worse, you just say that you need this deal done. The second that the other side knows that you're motivated, every counter that you make gets discounted. They know that you'll cave on price or terms, on timing. Just stay quiet. Let your agent run the negotiation. Number 2, don't skip the pre-listing survey, especially on a waterfront property. A lot of sellers think that the survey is the buyer's problem. If you list a property in Jupiter, Palm Beach, or anywhere along the Intracoastal, and the buyer's survey comes back showing that your seawall is on the wrong side of the property line, or your dock extends into state-owned submerged land, or your lot doesn't actually reach the mean high water mark, then your deal is in trouble mid-escrow. Get the survey before you list. The next 3 mistakes have cost sellers I've worked with hundreds of thousands of dollars, so pay close attention. Number 3, don't let the contract be assignable. The standard Florida contract, or the FAR can be assignable if the buyer selects the right checkbox. That means that the buyer who signed your contract can turn around and sell that contract to someone else before closing. You don't get to vet the new buyer, and you don't get to renegotiate. This is exactly how wholesalers and flippers operate in luxury markets. They lock you up, and then they shop your property to a third party, usually for a markup that should have been yours to begin with. One line in the contract, non-assignable without seller's written consent, and that is fully taken care of. Number 4, never let the buyer do work on your home before closing. This is common with relocating buyers. They want to start painting, they want the designer to come in and take measurements, they want to schedule the pool resurfacing. Until the deal funds and records, that home is yours. If a leak or a fire or an injury happens on your property during the work that they're doing, it will be your problem, your insurance, and your liability. If it's not their home yet, they don't touch it. Number 5, never agree to an early move-in. This is the most common request on the list, and also the most dangerous. Let's say that the buyer is relocating from up north. They've got a moving truck and nowhere to put it. Their lender slipped on funding. Can they just move in a few days early? The answer is absolutely no. Without a real possession agreement drafted by an attorney, the moment that they move in, they've taken possession, and the liability shifts to you. If they damage something, if they get hurt, or they decide they don't want the house, you're stuck. They become tenants under Florida law. I've seen deals collapse the day before recording. If you let those buyers move in early, then you'll be evicting them while you put the house back on the market. Nothing is final until it records and the wire hits your account. Number 6, don't hire your nephew, your cousin, or your hairdresser's son who just got his license. This is a larger financial transaction in your life, and an inexperienced agent who doesn't understand the market can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. I see it consistently. An agent based in Miami or Naples lists a property in Jupiter or Tequesta. They don't understand the nuance in this particular market. They don't know who the qualified buyers are, and they have no local network of connections to truly maximize the value of the property. In the same way that you wouldn't hand a scalpel to someone who just watched how to become a surgeon on YouTube, you shouldn't hire an inexperienced or out-of-town agent to sell your home. Number 7, don't fold personal property into the home sale contract. In this market, this comes up a lot. The buyer wants the dining set, the artwork over the fireplace, the wine collection, the boat that comes with the dock, sometimes the golf cart. Never blend them into the real estate contract. Lenders flag it, underwriters push back, and appraisers may not give value, which means that the financing starts to get messy. The right way to do this is with a separate bill of sale, drafted during escrow, but separate from the purchase contract. Keep the transactions clean and everybody wins. Number 8, don't waste a minute on lowball offers from buyers who you can't even verify. When you list a property in this market, you'll get random emails that might sound something like this. Cash offer, quick close, no inspection. The number is half of what your home is actually worth. Most of these come from wholesalers that have no intention of closing themselves. They're trying to lock you up into a contract so that they can flip it to another investor. If you can't verify who they are, delete it. Real buyers have real agents with proof of funds and they follow up. A low offer from a verified buyer is different. That's a starting point. The difference is verifiable identity and real ability to close. Number 9, don't agree to an unnecessarily long escrow. The longer the timeline, the higher the risk that the deal falls apart. Interest rates move, jobs change, buyers get cold feet, hurricane season creates insurance complications. Every extra week is another door for the deal to die. In Palm Beach County, 30 to 45 days keeps the momentum strong. If a buyer asks for 60, 75, or 90 days, there should be a real reason. Maybe a loan assumption, an international wire that just needs time to clear, or a trust closing. Every experienced agent knows this. Time kills deals. The shorter the runway, the more likely you are to close. Number 10, don't agree to remodel or update requests once you're under contract. You're in escrow and your buyer is happy. Then suddenly, can you repaint the primary suite? Can you change the kitchen backsplash? Swap out the chandelier? In almost every case, the answer has to be no. They made their offer based on what they saw. If they want to personalize your home, that's their project after closing. It's a different story if their inspection turns up a real issue, a roof problem, a slab leak, or a major mechanical failure, maybe a health and safety item, structural concerns. Those are negotiable. But cosmetic changes during escrow? No. You handled your prep before listing. Your line in the sand has to hold. If they push back hard, then you have to be willing to walk. Number 11, never accept an offer without a solid pre-approval or verified proof of funds. This is the most important one on the list. You shouldn't waste a single day of market time to a buyer who can't even prove that they can close. If they're financing, you need a real pre-approval letter, not a pre-qualification, not a "we spoke to the lender," a pre-approval with the lender's contact information so that an agent can call and verify. If they're paying cash, you need verifiable proof of funds, a current bank statement, a brokerage screenshot, something dated within 30 days. If the money's coming from a trust distribution or another sale, that's a story, not liquid funds. A serious buyer wants to prove that they're well qualified. If they push back on showing proof, that tells you everything. Number 12, don't accept unrealistic or overly long contingencies. The most dangerous one is the home sale contingency. If a buyer's current home isn't even listed, you do not accept the offer contingent to its sale. If they're already under contract on their home, that's different and more manageable. The same applies to inspection and financing periods. In Florida, the typical inspection period runs about 10 to 15 days. I usually push to negotiate that down to 7 to 10 days. It's the same with financing, 21 days max, ideally less. A buyer asking for a 30-day inspection isn't doing due diligence. They're tying up your home while they shop around. The shorter the contingency window, the firmer your contract. Number 13, never agree to repair items without a dollar cap. If your contract says that you'll handle the termite report, the roof, the seawall, the AC, there must be a dollar limit attached. Without a cap, then you've signed a blank check. Imagine a buyer who purchased a property and the seller had agreed in writing to remediate mold found in the home with no cap. What happens when the remediation comes back at $70, $80, or $100,000? You guessed it, the seller has no choice. Your contract should read seller responsible for up to a maximum of $15,000, or whatever number works. Beyond that, and it should be made clear that the buyer covers it. Number 14, trust your gut on unresponsive buyers. If a buyer drags their feet on the initial paperwork, goes silent between messages, or takes days to respond to a counteroffer, that's a red flag. This market requires momentum. Buyers are most motivated in the first 48 to 72 hours after acceptance. If they're slow at the front end, they'll be slow on appraisal, and they'll be slow on deposits, and they'll be slow at the closing table. When I represent a seller, we counter most offers, even the strong ones. Why? To see how they'll respond. A motivated buyer pushes back fast. A hesitant buyer ghosts. Don't mistake hesitation for negotiation. And number 15, don't accept an offer without negotiating the terms. This is where sellers leave money on the table. They see a big number on the front end and they sign the deal. But price is only a small piece of a much bigger puzzle. What about the closing date? What about the deposit amount? What about the survey contingency, personal property exclusions, title insurance? All negotiable in Florida. The home warranty? What happens if the appraisal comes back low? Every term is a lever. A great agent reads the offer and negotiates the levers, not just the number. The wrong terms can cost you weeks or thousands in contingencies or the deal entirely. So those are the 15 things that I would never agree to when selling your home in South Florida. These are the guardrails. Saying no doesn't make you difficult. It just makes you disciplined. If you're thinking about selling your home anywhere in Palm Beach County, Jupiter, Palm Beach Gardens, North Palm Beach, Juno Beach, Singer Island, West Palm Beach, you want an agent who's going to protect your interests at every step. I'd love to talk. My contract info is listed below. If this helped, hit that like and subscribe button. I'm Joel Poulin, your Palm Beach real estate broker, and I'll see you in the next video.